Today, fair hiring practices in this managed democracy? This is CheckPoint. Welcome to CheckPoint, where much like Lady Gaga, I too am finally coming to the end of a 5-year struggle over the concept of Fortnite.
What's the confusion? A fortnight's 2 weeks.
No time, I'm only here for the day.
Strategic, mercenary, operational, logistics. 4 words when put together don't mean anything. Really, think about it. Now stop thinking about it and listen to me instead. Ubisoft is bringing a new Rainbow Six game to Netflix. And since that means more people are going to play this on tablets and phones instead of mouse and keyboard, it's tactical, it's top-down, and it's twee as hell. And not twee in that bad way, meaning cute thing I don't like. No, it's twee in that good way, meaning cute thing I like. Rainbow Six SMOL is a top-down roguelite mobile game that takes players to the cute version of Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six universe. You know, just the way Tom Clancy or his estate intended. And can I just say, thank goodness someone is finally focusing on how heartwarming the Rainbow Six universe is. How cute the name Rainbow is for an extrajudicial rapid reaction force that operates in complete secrecy. How kawaii it is to conduct cover-ups to keep the public from learning about terrorists operating in their backyard with weapons of mass destruction. Anyway, if you've gotten sick of Hello Kitty Island Adventure, which just yesterday dropped an update with a whole new biome to explore, maybe what you've been hankering for is a little bit of the old adorable ultraviolence.
Kingmakers, the upcoming medieval simulation combat game from Redemption Road Games, directly asks the question, what if you brought a gun to a sword fight? Though whether or not they can make a case compelling enough to silence decades of heated 7th grade cafeteria debate remains to be seen. The game is already being compared to other classic fish out of water with a gun stories like Army of Darkness or Shadow the Hedgehog, but what differentiates Kingmakers is the breadth of weaponry you take back to the fantasy realm. Brazen displays of technology like gun, dirt bike, and helicopter gunship are up for grabs, and you can even put yourself behind the wheel of the epitome of American individualism, truck. All these components combined leave me with one conclusion, though. America has finally found and embraced their expression of the isekai genre.
Helldivers 2 is doing great, if my exposure to the meme circuit is any indication. Cries of democracy and liberty have left me having no clue what is going on, but clearly everyone's having a great time on Super Earth. Which has led everyone else to ask developer Arrowhead Game Studio, "You've just won Viral Game of the Month. What are you gonna do next?" And to everyone's surprise, CEO Johan Pilestedt responded, "Nothing knee-jerk." Really? Most small studios experiencing the massive server overload in the face of viral popularity would probably panic and start hiring more employees, hoping that would scale things up and alleviate the pressure so more players can get online and start playing. But Pilestedt has a more nuanced take. Quote, "The act of overhiring to then do layoffs is a horrible practice and a bad experience for employees." Do you feel that? That refreshing feeling running over your skin? Words from a CEO that actually makes some sense? There's more. Quote, "If you have no cash, get it later. While we made a really fun game, it's worth waiting until the servers can support the capacity. I mean, as a CEO, I, of course, want the game to be as profitable as possible, but if you spent your last dollar and got stuck in server queues, I'd be broken heart emoji." Pilestedt is very proud of his team and definitely wants everyone to enjoy the game at its best. And convincing people to just wait a little longer until the studio's increased capacity is the bare minimum of what we should expect out of game studios, especially with the absolute glut of tech layoffs we keep seeing. Hats off to Arrowhead Game Studio, who aren't willing to throw fresh bodies into the meat grinder just to preserve freedom and the Earth way of life.
Flipper Zero, the lovable wireless penetration testing tool, and cybernetic dolphin Tamagotchi who's really, really bad at stealing cars, is getting an upgrade in the form of a Raspberry Pi powered video game module. In addition to a gyroscope and accelerometer controls, the module also offers video out through a DVI-D signal and what is definitely, for legal reasons, not an HDMI port. So you can play your games like Air Arkanoid or open all the Tesla charging ports in a 30-foot radius right on your big screen TV. But get it now while it's hot or before it becomes too hot. Politicians like Canadian Minister of Innovation, Science and Industry Francois Philippe Champagne have erroneously targeted the Flipper Zero as a tool for car theft and are announcing their intention to, quote, ban the importation, sale, and use of consumer hacking devices like flippers. While this is unlikely to stop the illegitimate importation and use of these devices, it would put the Flipper Zero in a rare group of gaming consoles restricted for international trade. Not since the scare of Iraq using PlayStation 2s to fly Scud missiles have we seen such misplaced panic over video game hardware. All that said, if you are going to attempt to steal a car using a gaming console, I would recommend the PlayStation 2. While, unlike the Flipper Zero, it has no wireless capability, the sharp case edges and 2.2 kilogram heft should be more than enough to get you through the back window.
As a Nintendo kid, I never had any of the tools you needed to steal a car.
Oh, well, you're in luck. Next week on Tinker Tailor Solder Fry, I'm going to tell you how to hotwire a Buick Roadmaster using a Satellaview cartridge and a copy of Gyromite.
Can I also use my Rob the Robot?
Only as a lookout.
Coming up, if you're like me, you haven't picked up your guitar in months. So why not try Guitar Life Lesson 1 for the Nintendo Switch? And you know, still not pick up your guitar. Great job! I have thoughts about this, by the way, about Guitar Life, for anyone who cares.
I mean, I have thoughts too. Mainly that the controller looks like some sort of weapon from Armored Core 6.
Right, I really did feel like, I'm like, that thing looks cool as hell. It's a new rifle of some sort, right? My thoughts are, because we've had multiple versions of guitar teaching things over the years. And the most popular being Guitar Hero and Rock Band, which have the plastic-necked, Stratocaster kind of deal that's like 5 buttons here, and then we have the innovation of 5 more buttons up here.
And we also had Guitar Life. Was it? No.
There was another one.
Guitar Smith. That's the one.
Rocksmith.
The one I'm talking used an actual guitar.
That's Rocksmith. I'm sure it is. Is it not?
I think you're right.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm thinking of Rock Band.
Oh, okay.
That's,
yes. So Rocksmith, though, where you can have you can go get an actual guitar, real ass. Like if you own an electric guitar, you can get this. Just use that guitar with the box that plugs in. I think
it's a USB to 1/4-inch jack.
Cool. Yeah. And so I'm like that, and that was we're going to teach you how to use a real guitar to play real songs. I feel like this exists in the middle, which I like actually because. Guitar Hero got you used to like, well, I have to do this. I have to, fingers out here and doing whatever, even though it wasn't that long of a neck. But you don't get the heft of a guitar. You don't get the real feel of it. I found that when I played Guitar Hero, it's like, I don't feel like I'm having as much fun as I would playing my real guitar. I tried Rocksmith once and was like, I love this. This is really cool. But then again, I've been teaching myself guitar for like 10, 15 years by this point.
Yeah, starting from zero again is rather difficult.
It doesn't feel right to start from zero. And I'm like, for people who are starting from zero, it probably feels correct.
I probably learned something.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, this occupies an interesting spot in the middle where it's affordable. It's it's 13,000 yen.
Oh man, that's virtually nothing.
Yeah, right. Because the cost of the game, maybe if you think is 6,000 yen, and then you add in the cost of the controller and the pick on top of it.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to the pick. But the fact that it's locked in like one position. There's no sort of, you don't have your hand out to here, and also. So you're learning how to do everything way up high on the fretboard, essentially. But for somebody who's trying to learn for the first time, not having them adopt a more awkward position is maybe better, because it made me think of balance bikes. You put a 2-year-old on a bike with no pedals, they can move their legs around. They can always put their legs down to stop. They're not caught on the pedals trying to do stuff. And they get a sense of balance first, to be like, I can build in an innate sense of what it is I'm supposed to do. So if I go to a real guitar in the future, that it will be familiar, but it'll be a little less familiar.
Well, that's the thing with the guitars, though, too, is the secret nobody knows is that if you're playing guitar and you're not using the open strings, you can be anywhere and just transpose that same song.
Absolutely, right? It's like as long as you know where you...
Like as long as you learn the muscle memory down here, you can apply it anywhere.
And it's probably a lot easier because everything about that looks capacitive, which means that all you have to do is have your fingers in the location to be like, I am covering the things, I'm learning the position I need to put all my hand in and whatever else, and where my fingers should go, and I get a sense of feeling it under my hands with zero pressure, which is why I recommend to people who are learning guitar, start with an electric, because you'll find that you'll be able to play music faster.
But you need to learn to be able to push down on those things.
And that's one of the problems with this is like at a certain point you're gonna be like, oh, I can jam on this thing so well, and it's like, right now when it is time to play a real guitar, you won't have the hand strength right away. You'll have the dexterity, but you won't have the strength. You'll have to build that up. The second thing is that pick, because those things look capacitive. They don't look like they're like pressure based. Maybe they are. I'm worried that if you lose that pick, if it's a capacitive pick, I don't know where you find more like semi-metallic picks out there that are kind of made to strum that without ruining that thing. So they only give you one pick, it seems like, in the package. That's my thoughts. I think it's a cool idea.
It's probably got a little space on the back that you can clip the pick into.
God, I hope so.
I'm really excited about this because Nintendo has such a good history. Yes, I'm praising Nintendo.
Yeah.
Of allowing you to use their hardware via Bluetooth connected to a computer. Like we've had the drum kits from Rock Band.
Yeah.
You could hook those up via Bluetooth to your computer and have a MIDI drum kit working on that.
Right.
You know, the previous keyboards, the Rock Band keyboards as well, same thing. I look forward to being able to take this thing and connect it up to my computer and MIDI guitar it up.
Yeah, I'm hoping somebody writes a stack for that, because it is... they'll have to figure out how it works. Maybe it isn't just pure straight MIDI, though it wouldn't make any sense to me why you would invent a brand new protocol when that already exists.
Exactly.
We need to make a game and get it out there.
And the more you start looking for it, the more you'll find MIDI in the weirdest places.
Yeah. So I'm big on this. I don't think I'm going to buy one, but I kind of want one. So I'm just going to sit and think about it for a long... And it's only in Japan. We don't think it's ever coming out in England.
When's the release date?
Sometime in 2024. They haven't actually given a month. Yeah.
I was worried that I'm going to have to bring something back for you.
Yeah, it's in, we don't know when, and I was like, man, 13,000 yen. When you think of the cost of a game, and then you think of the cost of a thing on top of an accessory on top of it, I'm like, I'm kind of into this, but I just don't need an extra piece of plastic sitting around my house taking up space that I'm barely going to do anything with.
No, I definitely feel that.
Yeah,
which is why I wanted to mention the Sheikah slates that are being pre-ordered right now. What's the name of the
First
company?
Four Figures?
Yes, First Four Figures, which is probably a aspirational name. Yeah, okay. But they're putting together a set of Sheikah slate. I guess you could call them sculpts or props.
Yeah, it's
for between $400 and $600.
Yeah, they're for display, right?
Yeah. You can take them out, you can handle them, you can probably do cosplay with them. But what you can't do is any computing on it.
Yeah.
And this is not because of some Nintendo issue where they desperately want you to think that their consoles are not computers. Yeah. By the way, the Famicom was a computer.
Yeah.
They keep wanting us to forget that fact by not giving us keyboards. But this is, I find these sorts of props so difficult to reconcile when we live in an era where we have things like the Nintendo Switch, like iPads,
just
like
have a tablet,
like Android tablets. You could very easily, this company could just go to the Nintendo website and get from them legally and with blessing the dimensions of the Switch to make a proper case that you could put your Switch into, and it would look like a Sheikah slate.
Right, and they could even design like a dummy thing that goes in to be like, this just glows with the Sheikah logo, but you can take it out and you could put your Switch in and then start Breath of the Wild and be like, now I can feel like I have the map up on my thing and I can be controlling and maybe controlling. I don't know how you would actually interact other than touch. But
you could write your own little web page and do Home Assistant technologies and use your Sheikah slate as your home control system.
Yeah,
all sorts of things you can do. The problem is that we were talking earlier about this, that we think people might try to mod these sorts of
that's
props.
interesting. Yeah.
But the more I think about that, I don't think that's what's going to happen. These are very expensive.
Yeah.
And they're absolutely going to be collector's items in the next decade or so for that reason.
Which means that someone is going to 3D scan this thing and make put stuff on Thingiverse so you
That's-
can print low-res versions
Well,
of them.
I'm pretty sure that there are already 3D models of these things.
Fair.
And the maker mindset is such that, yeah, absolutely, I'm going to print this out myself, finish it, paint it, make it look perfect, and make space for my tablet in it because I can do that myself.
Right, and cosplay. Let's be fair. Cosplayers and prop makers are absolutely savage. They're out of their minds, and they will do the craziest stuff. Looking forward to seeing more of that, I guess. From if anybody's like, man, I really do. I'm just actually really looking forward to someone modding up some sort of nonsense, 3D printing some nonsense, so they can have Link's Ultra Hand. Let's see how that works out. How cute the name Rainbow is for an extrajudicial rapid fuck.